The best and worst Subaru Forester years to avoid if you are shopping for a used ride as a senior. Buying a Subaru Forester for an older driver is not simply about finding the year with the fewest complaints. A Forester can earn an impressive reliability score and still be the wrong vehicle for a senior if getting into the seat strains the knees, the roof pillars block important sight lines, the controls require a technology lesson, or the driver assistance system behaves like a nervous passenger that never stops interrupting. So instead of ranking these Foresters using complaint totals alone, I am judging every model year by 3 hidden costs.
The first is the repair cost. How likely is this Forester to surprise its owner with an expensive engine, transmission, suspension, or electrical problem? The second is the physical cost. How much effort does it take to get in, look around, load groceries or a walker, and drive comfortably? And the third is the attention cost. Does the vehicle quietly make driving easier, or does it bury basic functions inside screens, warning lights, beeps, and menus? That third cost matters more than many buyers realize. NHTSA reports that drivers aged 65 and older were involved in 8,019 fatal crashes in 2024, representing 20% of all fatal traffic crashes.
That number does not tell us which drivers caused those crashes, and it does not tell us which vehicle features would have prevented them. But it does show why a senior-focused recommendation must consider crash protection and ease of operation alongside mechanical reliability. Visibility, comfortable controls, and well-designed safety technology are not expensive decorations. They can determine how confidently and safely someone continues driving. Fortunately, the Forester performs unusually well in many of those areas. It has a tall greenhouse, large windows, an upright seating position, manageable dimensions, and standard all-wheel drive. But here is the problem. Some Forester years combine that senior-friendly design with mechanical weaknesses that can turn affordable retirement transportation into an expensive part-time project. The rankings in this video are starting points, not predictions that every Forester from one year will fail. I am combining documented warranty extensions, recalls, safety results, patterns in owner reports, vehicle age, senior usability, and the condition of the individual vehicle. We will begin with the 4 years I would approach very carefully before moving to the 5 strongest choices. Stay until number 1 because my best overall Forester for a senior is not the newest, the most rugged, or the most expensive. The 2019 Forester is not on this list because it is an inherently terrible vehicle. In fact, it is safer, quieter, roomier, and more advanced than the older Foresters we are about to discuss. It introduced the 5th generation, and Subaru made EyeSight driver assistance technology standard equipment. So why avoid it? Because it is the least convincing 5th generation Forester when later versions may be available for only moderately more money. The most important concern is the thermocontrol valve. This electronically controlled valve regulates coolant flow and replaced a more conventional thermostat arrangement. Subaru documented a condition in which coolant vapor could enter the sensor portion of the control valve. That could trigger codes in the P26A family or P2682 and illuminate several warning lights. Some driver assistance functions may also become unavailable when the fault is active. Imagine starting the car for an ordinary appointment and suddenly seeing several warnings appear together. The engine may still run, but EyeSight may be disabled, and the dashboard can make the vehicle appear to have several unrelated problems. That is exactly the kind of confusing and unpredictable experience many senior buyers are trying to avoid. The good news is important. Subaru extended thermocontrol valve coverage on eligible 2019 through 2021 Foresters to 15 years or 150,000 miles. That dramatically reduces the potential financial danger. It is also why the 2019 ranks 4th on the avoid list rather than 1st. However, an extended warranty does not prevent the failure, eliminate the inconvenience, or guarantee that every cooling system warning will be repaired free of charge. Coverage depends on the VIN, mileage, diagnosed condition, and terms of the program. Have a Subaru dealer check the VIN rather than accepting a seller's assurance that Subaru covers everything.
The 2019 also attracted owner complaints involving cracked windshields, battery drain, electrical warnings, and inconsistent power liftgate operation. These do not make every 2019 unreliable, but they add to the first-year uncertainty. Its physical cost is low because visibility, entry, and cargo access are excellent. Its attention cost is moderate because eyesight offers valuable protection but introduces warnings and features the owner must understand. Its repair risk is also moderate rather than catastrophic, especially if the thermocontrol valve has already been replaced with the updated component. A discounted 2019 with complete service records, a healthy battery, a properly installed windshield, functioning eyesight, and documented valve replacement may still be a good purchase. But if a 2022 or 2023 is available for a reasonable amount more, the later vehicle gives you the same senior-friendly shape with additional years of refinement. The 2019 is not a bad Forester.
It is simply the fifth-generation Forester that needs the strongest financial reason and the best documentation before I would recommend it. The 2015 Forester is roomy, easy to see out of, comfortable to enter, and refreshingly straightforward inside. Unfortunately, a comfortable seat cannot protect your bank account from an engine consuming oil or a CVT beginning to fail. Excessive oil consumption is one of the principal concerns. Submitted car complaints reports place the average reported occurrence at approximately 26,250 miles. Reported solutions include piston ring work, short block replacement, and complete engine replacement. Those figures come from owners who chose to submit complaints. They are not the failure rate for every 2015 Forester. However, an engine problem does not need to affect every vehicle before a used car buyer should investigate it seriously. There is also an important distinction many buying guides miss. Subaru's formal 8-year or 100,000-mile oil consumption warranty extension listed the 2015 Forester with a manual transmission only. Owner complaints may involve different configurations, but the manufacturer's official coverage did not apply equally to every 2015 Forester. At this age, most original time-based coverage has expired anyway, so documentation of testing and corrective work matters more than what the vehicle may once have qualified for. The continuously variable transmission also deserves careful attention. Subaru extended CVT coverage on affected 2014 and 2015 Foresters from 5 years or 60,000 miles to 10 years or 100,000 miles. Subaru said the extension was intended to reassure customers and was not issued in response to one specific defect. Therefore, the extension does not prove that every transmission was faulty. But most 2015 Foresters are now beyond the 10-year coverage period. That means a questionable CVT is likely to become the buyer's financial responsibility. Test it from a cold start and again after it is fully warm. On level ground, shift between reverse and drive and watch for delayed engagement. Perform low-speed parking maneuvers, moderate uphill acceleration, steady cruising, and gentle deceleration. Do not allow a seller to dismiss shuddering, surging, slipping, loud whining, hesitation, or inconsistent response as just how a CVT feels. A healthy CVT does feel different from a traditional automatic, but different should not mean unpredictable. The 2015's physical cost is low because entry and visibility are excellent. Its attention cost is also relatively low because the cabin is simple, but its potential repair cost becomes high when oil consumption or transmission trouble has been ignored. If a relative is selling one with complete records, documented oil consumption testing, consistent maintenance, and a clean independent inspection, it may still be considered. But on an ordinary used car lot where the salesperson says, "It runs great," while knowing nothing about how much oil it consumes, I would continue searching. The 2011 Forester can be extremely tempting. It is affordable, compact, easy to understand, and free from giant touchscreens and complicated driver assistance menus. For someone tired of modern vehicles beeping at everything, that simplicity can feel like a relief. But simplicity inside the cabin does not compensate for mechanical risk underneath it. The principal concern is the 2.5-liter FB25 engine introduced in the non-turbo Forester. It used the timing chain rather than the timing belt found in the previous engine. But early versions developed a documented excessive oil consumption problem. Subaru's oil consumption warranty extension included 2011 through 2014 Foresters equipped with the 2.5-liter F engine. Car Complaints owner data places the average reported mileage for excessive oil consumption on the 2011 at approximately 48,800 miles, with an average reported repair cost around $3,100. Some owners reported short block or complete engine replacement.
Oil consumption is particularly unsuitable for a senior seeking a low-attention vehicle because the problem may not leave a dramatic puddle on the driveway. The engine can burn oil internally while appearing normal. That forces the owner to check the dipstick between services and record how much oil is being added. If that responsibility is forgotten, the engine can run dangerously low before the next scheduled oil change. A Forester purchased cheaply can then require an engine repair worth more than the entire vehicle. And oil consumption is only part of the calculation. A 2011 vehicle is now old enough for rubber seals, suspension parts, wheel bearings, cooling system components, brake and fuel lines, exhaust parts, electrical connections, and corrosion to become concerns regardless of the mileage displayed. Low mileage is not a time machine. A 15-year-old rubber component is still 15 years old, even if the odometer looks attractive. The 2011's physical cost can remain low because it is easy to enter and see out of. Its cabin attention cost is also low because the controls are simple. But its mechanical attention cost can be high. The owner may need to monitor oil levels, leaks, corrosion, deterioration, and unusual noises more closely than someone seeking uncomplicated retirement transportation should. A carefully maintained 2011 with documented engine corrective work, minimal rust, and an excellent inspection may still serve someone well. But I would not recommend an unknown example for a senior simply because the asking price is attractive. A low purchase price is not genuine value if the vehicle demands constant oil monitoring and repair planning. The 2014 Forester is the clearest example of why the first year of a redesign deserves additional scrutiny. It introduced the fourth-generation body, more interior space, improved crash protection, and a more useful cabin. Its visibility and accessibility are genuinely excellent. But a vehicle can protect you well during a collision while regularly frustrating you during ownership. Car Complaints identifies 2014 as the Forester's worst model year overall, with engine problems as its worst category. Submitted excessive oil consumption reports average roughly $2,000 to repair at approximately 33,400 miles, although major engine work can cost considerably more. More importantly, Subaru's official oil consumption warranty extension included 2014 Foresters equipped with a 2.5-liter FB engine. That gives the concern more weight than complaint totals alone. Owners also reported broken rear coil springs, with submitted reports averaging approximately $1,000 to repair at around 57,700 miles. Add reports of wheel bearing failures, electrical faults, and early CVT problems, and the 2014 begins to look less like an affordable SUV and more like several first-year engineering risks sharing one registration plate. This is why complaint severity matters. A faulty radio and an oil-starved engine should never count as equal events simply because both owners submitted one complaint. For a senior, one major mechanical failure can mean financial stress, towing, missed appointments, disrupted transportation, and repeated visits to repair facilities. Reliability is not just the repair bill. It is also how much of your life the vehicle is allowed to interrupt. The 2014 earns good marks for physical accessibility, visibility, and straightforward controls, but it receives the highest mechanical risk rating on this list. Unless the individual vehicle has exceptional documentation, completed corrective work, 4 properly matched tires, no serious corrosion, and an excellent independent inspection, this is the Forester year I would be most willing to walk away from. Those are the 4 Foresters to approach with the most caution: 2019, 2015, 2011, and, most importantly, 2014. Now let us move to the models that offer a stronger combination of affordability, simplicity, accessibility, safety, and predictable ownership.
Okay, let me say this before placing the 2016 on our best list. The 2016 is not one of the 5 most mechanically trouble-free Foresters when judged in isolation. It earns this position as a conditional budget choice because it may be one of the most affordable Foresters that still combines senior-friendly access, excellent visibility, straightforward controls, and useful safety equipment. By 2016, Subaru had 2 years to address some of the 4th generation's earliest weaknesses. The vehicle retains nearly everything seniors tend to appreciate about the Forester: an upright seating position, broad windows, practical door openings, manageable exterior dimensions, and enough ground clearance to make entry comfortable without feeling as though you are climbing into a truck. It is also old enough to remain relatively affordable while providing better crash protection and available eyesight technology. Remember that eyesight was optional on these older Foresters.
Confirm that the individual vehicle actually has it, rather than assuming every advertisement mentioning Subaru safety means eyesight is installed. For an older driver prioritizing lower operating costs and mechanical simplicity, I would choose the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter model rather than the turbocharged XT. The engine and CVT still require a serious inspection. Check the oil before the first start. Listen for abnormal engine noise, watch for exhaust smoke, drive the vehicle until fully warm, and recheck the oil correctly on level ground. Ask the seller exactly how much oil is added between services. If the answer is, all Subarus use oil, ask again, exactly how much? A slogan is not a maintenance record. Because a 2016 is now approximately 10 years old, inspect the wheel bearings, suspension bushings, struts, battery, cooling system, exhaust, oil leaks, and service history for the CVT and both differentials.
Its repair risk is moderate, its physical cost is low, and its cabin attention cost is low. A documented 2016 can be a better senior vehicle than a neglected 2022. But this recommendation depends heavily on price, condition, maintenance history, and inspection results.
It belongs on the list because it can provide excellent senior usability at a lower purchase price, not because age has somehow made its mechanical risks disappear.
The 2018 is the most refined version of the 4th generation, and an excellent choice for someone who prefers familiar physical controls over a screen-heavy interior. It keeps the Forester's excellent visibility, spacious door openings, practical roofline, and easy-to-understand dashboard. Because it was the final year before the 2019 redesign, Subaru had several years to refine the platform. In most cases, final-year vehicles are not automatically reliable, but they give the manufacturer more time to address weaknesses discovered earlier in the production cycle. The 2018 is not free of concerns. Wheel bearing noise, air conditioning performance, CVT behavior, oil leaks, suspension wear, battery condition, and corrosion should still be inspected. Certain 2015 through 2018 Foresters equipped with heated seats were recalled because an occupant detection system connection could loosen and deactivate the front passenger airbag. Turbocharged examples may also have separate fuel pump campaign considerations. This is why the VIN matters more than the advertisement. Use NHTSA's recall tool and request documentation of completed work. A seller saying, "I think the recall was done," is not evidence that it was completed. For the right senior, a properly maintained 2018 Premium or Limited with eyesight may provide the best balance of traditional controls and useful collision avoidance technology. Eyesight was not standard on every 2018, and a vehicle equipped with it needs an undamaged windshield, an unobstructed camera view, and appropriate inspection or calibration after relevant glass or collision work. Its physical cost is low. Its attention cost is low to moderate. Its age-related repair risk is moderate. This is my favorite older Forester for someone who values buttons, visibility, and simplicity. Just do not treat it like a nearly new vehicle simply because it was the final year of its generation. 2024 Subaru Forester. The 2024 Forester is the final year of the 5th generation, and that maturity is its greatest advantage. It avoids the additional uncertainty that comes with buying the first year of the redesigned 2025 Forester while providing standard eyesight, adaptive cruise control,
lane departure warning, pre-collision braking, standard all-wheel drive, and excellent outward visibility. It also retains more conventional controls than many newer competitors. That may sound like a minor preference, but it is not. A physical control that can be recognized by touch allows the driver to adjust a setting while spending less time looking away from the road.
The Forester provides 8.7 inches of ground clearance, but ground clearance and seat height are not the same thing. An SUV can sit high above the road and still force its occupants to climb awkwardly into the cabin. The Forester generally provides a natural hip-level entry instead of requiring the driver to climb upward or drop into a low seat. Every buyer should test this personally because height, knee strength, hip mobility, and back problems differ from one person to another.
Yes, the main disadvantage is the price. A lightly used 2024 may still be priced close to a new vehicle. That does not make it mechanically worse than the 2023. In fact, a 2024 may be the better choice when it offers significantly lower mileage, better condition, or meaningfully more remaining warranty for only a small price increase. The 2024's repair risk is relatively low, its physical cost is low, and its attention cost is moderate only because the owner must learn eyesight and the other modern systems. For many seniors, a premium equipped with blind spot detection is a more sensible target than the Wilderness. The Wilderness looks tougher, but most owners do not need to pay more for all-terrain tires, off-road equipment, and higher operating costs simply to drive to shops, appointments, and family visits. Pay for the capability you will use, not the image you like in the advertisement. The best number 2 Forester is the 2022 Subaru Forester. The 2022 may be the smartest used Forester for the widest range of older drivers. It received a mid-cycle refresh with an enhanced eyesight system, a wider field of view, and improved operation under a broader range of conditions. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety awarded the 2022 Forester Top Safety Pick Plus under its 2022 criteria. The 2022 also falls outside the 2019 through 2021 Forester model years listed in Subaru's Thermo Control Valve warranty extension.
That does not prove that no 2022 can ever experience a cooling system problem. Mechanical parts do not read warranty bulletins before deciding whether to fail. But it makes the 2022 a more reassuring starting point for buyers specifically concerned about the documented thermo control valve condition affecting the earlier fifth-generation years. This does not make the 2022 mechanically invincible. Used examples can still suffer from neglected maintenance, damaged cameras, worn or mismatched tires, weak batteries, overdue differential service, and poor collision repairs. Eyesight relies on cameras mounted near the windshield. Improper glass installation, damage, obstruction, or incorrect calibration can compromise the system. During the test drive, confirm that no eyesight warning remains illuminated. Test adaptive cruise control, lane departure alerts, the backup camera, blind spot indicators, and rear cross traffic alert if equipped. Do not assume every trim has blind spot monitoring simply because the advertisement says driver assistance. Eyesight can also become temporarily unavailable in heavy rain, fog, snow, intense glare, or when the windshield or camera view is obstructed. Temporary unavailability under those conditions is a system limitation, not automatic evidence of a defect. The owner should understand what each warning means before depending on the technology. A safety feature that confuses the driver can quickly become another source of distraction. The 2022 combines relatively low repair risk, low physical effort, and manageable attention demand once the driver understands the controls. For someone wanting modern crash prevention technology without automatically paying nearly new car prices, it is an excellent target. The 2023 Forester earns first place because it occupies the ideal point between refinement, value, and unnecessary reinvention. It benefits from the 2022 refresh, avoids the earliest fifth-generation problems, and provides essentially the same core senior-friendly design and safety equipment as the 2024.
However, the 2023 should not automatically rank above every 2024 on the market. If a comparable 2024 has much lower mileage, noticeably more remaining warranty, or costs only slightly more, buy the better 2024. The 2023 wins when its condition and equipment are comparable and its used price is meaningfully lower. That is the situation in which it provides the stronger overall value. It preserves the Forester's unusually useful combination of large windows, upright seating, comfortable entry, predictable handling, manageable dimensions, and physical controls. IIHS named the 2023 Forester a top safety pick under its stricter 2023 criteria. Its eyesight system also earned a superior rating in IHS's Nighttime Pedestrian Front Crash Prevention Evaluation, with the rating applying to 2022 through 2025 Foresters. That is a meaningful benefit for an older driver whose night vision or reaction time may not be what it was 20 years ago. However, superior does not mean infallible. The system is not a substitute for an attentive driver, and it did not prevent every possible simulated collision in every condition. Treat eyesight as a second layer of protection, not permission to pay less attention. My preferred version would be a 2023 Premium with the appropriate option package, or a Limited equipped with blind spot detection and rear cross-traffic alert. Confirm those features on the actual vehicle. They can be particularly useful for a driver whose neck mobility makes it uncomfortable to look far over the shoulder. I would not automatically choose the Wilderness. Its rugged appearance is attractive, but its all-terrain tires, additional equipment, and increased operating costs may offer little benefit to someone who mainly drives on paved roads. The 2023 earns a relatively low repair risk rating because of its position late in the generation. It requires little physical effort because of its visibility and entry design. Its attention cost is moderate to low because it combines modern assistance with familiar physical controls. That balance, not one isolated reliability score, is why it takes first place. Before buying any Forester, perform what I call the senior suitability test. First, sit down and get back out 3 times. If that movement strains the knees, hips, shoulders, or lower back in the dealership, it will not magically become easier at home. Adjust the seat and confirm that the driver can see the road, traffic lights, mirrors, and backup camera display without leaning forward. Make sure the steering wheel and head restraint can be positioned comfortably. Operate the climate controls, radio, headlights, wipers, parking brake, cruise control, and driver assistance settings without help from the salesperson. A feature that cannot be understood during a calm dealership demonstration may become a dangerous distraction in traffic. Place a grocery bag, suitcase, folded walker, or mobility aid into the cargo area. Check both the lift over height and the effort required to operate the lift gate. Then perform the Subaru-specific mechanical inspection. Ask the seller not to warm the vehicle before you arrive. Inspect the oil and coolant when cold. Listen carefully during the first start, and watch for smoke, warning lights, or abnormal rattling. Scan every available control module, not only the engine computer, and check whether the emissions readiness monitors are incomplete. Incomplete monitors do not prove dishonesty, because they can also result from a recently disconnected or failed battery. But they may indicate that diagnostic codes were recently cleared. So ask why they are incomplete and require a proper drive cycle or further inspection before buying. Drive the vehicle while cold and again after it is fully warm. Test reverse-to-drive engagement, low-speed maneuvering, steady acceleration, moderate uphill load, highway cruising, and deceleration. Walk away from persistent CVT shudder, slipping, delayed engagement, loud whining, warning lights, or inconsistent response until a qualified Subaru technician has diagnosed the cause. Inspect all 4 tires. They should be the correct size and ideally the same brand and model with closely matched tread depth and even wear. Mismatched tire circumference is not merely cosmetic on an all-wheel drive Subaru. It can place unnecessary stress on the drivetrain. 1 new tire beside 3 heavily worn tires is not evidence of good maintenance. It is a reason to ask what happened and whether the repair was performed correctly. Check for wheel bearing humming, engine leaks, battery weakness, suspension wear, brake condition, cooling system operation, and CVT and differential fluid history. If the vehicle lived in a region where roads are heavily salted, inspect the rear subframe, control arms, brake and fuel lines, suspension mounting points, exhaust, wheel arches, and structural seams. Low mileage does not cancel corrosion. Verify every open recall and applicable warranty extension by VIN. Check the eyesight cameras, windshield condition, and service records after glass replacement or collision repair. And finally, you can pay for an independent pre-purchase inspection by a technician familiar with Subaru vehicles. Walk away if the seller refuses a cold start or independent inspection, cannot explain repeated oil loss, dismisses obvious CVT symptoms as normal, presents badly mismatched tires, cannot explain incomplete diagnostic monitors, cannot document claimed engine or transmission work, or expects you to ignore structural rust, active warning lights, incomplete recalls, or eyesight faults. A good model year cannot rescue a neglected vehicle, and a so-called bad year can occasionally produce an excellent individual car. The year tells you where to begin looking. The inspection tells you whether to buy. If your budget is limited, consider a documented 2016, but only after a serious inspection. If you want traditional controls and excellent visibility, look for a well-maintained 2018 with verified equipment and completed recalls. If you want a final year, low-mileage fifth-generation vehicle with more remaining warranty, consider the 2024. If you want the strongest balance of modern safety, predictable ownership, and used pricing, focus on the 2022 and 2023, with the 2023 taking the top position when it is meaningfully less expensive than a comparable 2024. The best Forester for a senior is not the one with the biggest screen, the toughest appearance, or the longest equipment list. It is the one that asks the least from its owner while quietly providing the most protection.